Madam Speaker, concerns have been expressed about the slow pace of VAT refunds. We recognize this, that it has hurt the cash flow of a number of companies, including small and medium enterprises. The acting SARS Commissioner is committed to processing the outstanding VAT refunds as quickly as possible. We estimate total additional refunds of 20 billion rand, made up of 11 billion rand to clear the backlog and an upward revision of 9 billion rand for the current fiscal year. We are of the view that this will provide a much needed stimulus, actually, to the real economy as people will have more money in their hands. So it's not negative, it's actually positive. As you know, an independent panel of experts investigated options to mitigate the impact of the VAT increase on lower income households. My thanks to the panel for their excellent work. I would also like to thank the 30,000 individuals and NGOs who provided commentary on the panel's recommendation. Madam Speaker, I received 3,299 tweets in total recently when I requested people on Twitter to give me some advice. I'm awaiting the one from the President. He promised me one on Monday. One of them is Tintsingwenya in Johannesburg, who said, sanitary pads should be tax-free. After considerable debate and consultation, as of the 1st of April 2019, government will zero rate the following items. Number one, sanitary pads. Floyd, I thought you'd clap. Okay. I want to see you clapping. Thank you. 2, bread flour. 3, cake flour. Now, I know you are clapping, that's very good, but here is the thing. So the revenue loss associated with zero rating these items is estimated at 1.2 billion rand. So, yeah. However, zero rating these products targets low-income households and restores the dignity of our people. So that we're clear about this thing. So the zero rating of the pads, but also free provision to poorer schools. Right? On carbon tax, we have listened carefully to the concerns of business and labor during the parliamentary hearings. The carbon budgeting system and the carbon tax will be aligned. This is done by imposing a higher tax rate as a penalty for emissions exceeding the carbon budget. The original date of implementation was 1 January 2019, but this will be postponed to 1 June 2019. We can spend our money better, Madam Speaker. Too much money goes missing. We must restore good governance and fight corruption in all of its forms. Money that leaks out of the system is no longer available to support our efforts to reduce poverty and lighten the burden on the poor. Madam Speaker, among the many tweets we received from the South African public was a plea to strengthen internal auditing capacity at our municipalities. It is necessary for us as a country to face up to the events of the recent past and learn from them. We are taking the following steps to strengthen financial management. First, Treasury will work with the Office of the Auditor General to reduce fruitless and wasteful, irregular, and unauthorized expenditure. Law enforcement agencies will be requested to act swiftly without fear or favor against those implicated in wrongdoing. Two, at local government level, we are deploying skilled professionals to boost revenue collection and attain our developmental objectives. Many of these professionals are retirees who have responded to the call by the President, Tuma Mina. Three, there will be financial recovery plans for non-performing departments. This, in short, means if you don't spend, we'll take the money. Madam Speaker, our state-owned companies can spend our money better as well. Many of these state-owned companies need to be reconfigured. Let me just repeat that. Many of these state-owned companies need to be reconfigured. Emphasis is reconfigured. In the past year, almost all of the regional and domestic routes operated by South African Airways were profitable. SAA will reduce, ultimately, maybe stop operating some of the loss-making international routes. SAA procurement has unlocked annual cost savings of about 400 million rand. And this is a picture they're going to bring out of Miss Retty. You'll see. The minister sweats over the budget. Oh, you cheated already. It's fine, it's okay. Despite these efforts, cheers. Despite these efforts, SAA is still loss-making, and even more radical measures are then needed in this regard. In the reconfiguration of state-owned enterprises, there must be no holy cows. To support a sustainable reconfiguration model of our airline portfolio, in 2018-2019, government will provide additional funding to SAA and South African Express Airways. Minister Gordon and I are working closely to limit the fiscal cost of these measures. By the end of the year, the boards of these two companies will present plans to strengthen and align their operations. Government has been working with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Government has been working with the Johannesburg Stock Exchange to strengthen debt listing requirements for all issuers, including state-owned companies. These proposals aim to bring about increased transparency and improved governance for state-owned companies and complement other government measures. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, allow me to thank the President for his guidance and leadership. My appreciation also goes to the Deputy President. I'd like to thank the Minister of Defense. For the first time, the Minister of Defense is thanked in a statement for the assistance that we are receiving from the Defense Force. I'd like to thank my cabinet colleagues who have been more than patient with me as I've been working my way through this process, in particular the Ministers' Committee on the Budget. Thank you very much for your help. I wish to thank the provincial premiers, MECs, municipal mayors who share our fiscal and financial responsibility. I'd like to thank Deputy Minister Ngubele. It's a very interesting Deputy Minister to work with. It's very interesting. I'd like to thank the Acting Commissioner of the South African Revenue Services, thanking the 10th Governor of the South African Reserve Bank and the staff at the Reserve Bank, the Director General of the National Treasury, also a very interesting fellow. I know that members of the House will join me in expressing our appreciation to the whole staff of the National Treasury, the Revenue Services, and the finance community. I'm also grateful to the Finance and Appropriation Committees who have responsibility for steering consideration of the Division of Revenue Amendment Bill, the Adjustments Appropriation Bill, the Finance Bill, and the Taxation Bills. So, Madam Speaker, a budget statement, as I said, is not the budget. The budget is in February. This is a medium-term statement. And we are presenting this statement then against a bedrock of South Africa finding itself at the crossroads with lower growth and therefore lower revenue collections. That's why we need tough choices. Secondly, our economic outlook has been revised downwards. Thirdly, against this background, together we have much to do. We must repair damaged government institutions as their failure impacts on poorer households the most. There have been governance challenges at key state institutions. This we have to deal with. State institutions are being repaired and renewed. That's a background. State-owned enterprises are being reconfigured, as we have said. The President has initiated a plan that will support our economic recovery plan. And finally, we wish all of you success as we debate this medium-term budget statement. Ikesengo Shine.
Honorable members, we congratulate the brand new minister for his maiden speech, and that concludes the business of the day, and the House is adjourned.
تذكر يوما كنت تعانق دمعة الفكر تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحو أعدوا وبالحق ردوا فللكفر قبر رهيب ولحد أعدوا وبالحق ردوا فللكفر قبر رهيب la 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 la
la la la la la la la la la la la la la la la.